Alright, how's it going everyone? Tyler Hopkins here again with Spark Your Media. What we're going to do in this video is go over how you can recreate a meme. So we're going to recreate this meme right here. The best fighter is never angry. And as you can see, it is branded right here at the bottom. It has a background image. So I want to use this one because you can recreate it with your own image if you want to use one of your academy or one of your athletes. Pretty much any image you can have it there in the background. And then I'll show you how you can overlay the text and put the logo and everything else on it. And this is going to be more for somebody who doesn't have a lot of design skill. If you already have the design skill to do this, then you can just recreate it however you do it. But this is just the gist of strategy as well. If you want to recreate a image that you've seen that you like, and if you want to recreate it for your own brand, this is how you would do it. So I taught myself digital marketing, well, after I went to school for it, but I didn't have a background in graphic design. So I use a platform called PicMonkey, and I've been using it for the last 10 years. So other people are going to have Photoshop, they're going to have Adobe, they're going to just have other platforms. This one is great for somebody who is a business owner or is somebody who's just trying to do graphic designs for themselves and they don't want to have the complication of Adobe Photoshop, which is not very easy to learn. So we're going to recreate this and I'll show you how easy it is as we go. So we have our graphic that we're going to recreate. So if you have your own image, you can go ahead and import it right here. So you're going to add your image. Or if you want to go and use, this is another reason I love PicMonkey, is you can use their stock images. So if you do martial arts, you can see all these quality images that you can use. And I'll show you one that we're going to use and recreate from. So let's say we want to use this one. This is a pretty cool one. I'm going to blow it up and put it inside the square. And we're going to be using the square because this is going to go on Instagram and Facebook. And if it's going to be on Instagram, you're going to want it to be in a square. And a square still works on Facebook, but it doesn't work as well the other way around. If I would have created a rectangle, then when I posted it to Instagram, it's just going to have the square. So it'll probably cut off the sides like you see here. So if you have text and a logo over here, it's just going to look a little bit less organized, like you actually didn't plan on it. So let's import the image, and then let's go ahead and find our quote. It is add text. Then we can make it whatever we want. And it was, let me see, where was that at? I have the copy here. Boop. The best fighter is never angry. So with this layout, I would actually want to make it more center. So let's centered. Let's do this right here. I think I want to make it more long. So let's pull some of this back. So I'm liking this layout. I kind of want this above. So I'm going to do this effect to where I'm going to make it look kind of like a mirror. Duplicate the image and then I'm going to flip it. And then put it down here and line it up. So now you can't really tell. That way I can move the image up. And then I'm going to, so this actually works. Let's add our logo, and then I'm going to show you how you can change this color around a little bit so you can actually see the best fighter is never angry. Let's find our logo if we don't have it already. So go to photos or graphics. It doesn't really matter because you're going to be using your own image. Go to computer and let's do, so let's make it dark, so let's make it white. We'll add this to the bottom. And then we'll also have the website. So let's go ahead and make a little divider. So you can do this however you want. I'm just showing you kind of how my process is when I'm doing this. So I'll make this little divider, make it white. Or if you want to make it more branded, you can do it the color of the brand. Make it thin. Oops. And I'm going to want this in the center. Right there. Move this over. Then I'll have the website on the other side. Let's say I want to use the same font. And then if you want to separate the letters a little bit, you go to text spacing, letter spacing, so that looks a little bit better. And on the dark background, it looks good to have it raised off. Let's do the same with the logo. Shadow, do drop shadow. Alright, so that's the basics of it. You could save it here, but I actually want this to stand out a little bit more. So if you want to add another layer, you can go to graphics. Let's do a square over top. And I'll show you how you can do this different colors too if you wanted. So let's say when I started out as just black, I would pull it down and just straight over the layer that's the image. And then now when you fade it, actually we need the text on the other side too. Right there. So now we have the square. Go over here to fade. And then you can play around with it like this. And if you want to just highlight certain areas, you can erase. So now we already have it faded. But let's say we want to bring out the background in certain areas. I would go down here, put the hardness down. That way you can control what you're making light. So if I swipe across here and just highlight that, so this top layer stayed. So this is a good way you can still highlight this top area. So I would leave it like this. So you can save it. If you want to change some of the color around with the text to make something a little bit more bold or stand out, you can do like the best fighter. Make it whatever color your brand is. Like if you have your color code, you can go ahead and type it in up here. Or if you have your logo, you can just copy it straight from your logo. That's what I like to do. Or if you have your color scheme, sometimes I'll have it down here at the bottom and I'll just be able to pull it up whenever I need to use it. So this is a good way you can just recreate pretty much any kind of meme you want. It's nice and branded down here. It looks very organic. It looks like you made it. Looks like you created the whole concept. And you can even have your school in the background. Let me go over here to photo real quick. And we'll try to keep this under 10 minutes. So let's go to photos. Let's go back to martial arts and I'll show you something that looks a little bit more like somebody's school. And it still works. You might not want to find something that's somebody who looks angry when you're having a quote like this, it might not make sense. So let's say this is your school. Here's your students. I'd put them over here on the side. Boop. Then you can fade them out. Let's get rid of this other image in the background. So pull them back, and it's still highlighted there in the middle. Remember when we slid it across? So you can do the same thing, or you can just leave it. And let's say it's a little too light in the background. Let's darken it more. Go over here to fade, and you can fade it more. And again, if you highlighted it in the wrong areas, just come back over here to erase. And you can do it the opposite direction, which go over here to the paintbrush. And then now you can make it dark in that area. So it's basically just reversing that effect. So if I want to just highlight their faces a little bit and their arm and leave it at that, you can save it. You can change the quote around and just keep everything else the same. There's other effects, of course, you can do as you're playing around with it. You can add another layer, which this is what I like to show also. Let's say you have your logo. You can make it white. This is just a little extra bonus. So we're definitely going to be over 10 minutes. So let's say you want to have it here at the top in the background. We're going to fade it out, so it looks like it's a little bit more part of the background. And then I would go in and start erasing. Go to erase. Erase some of the parts that's on their face. So it kind of makes it look like it's behind them. I'll probably make the hardness up a little bit so I can get in there and erase the specific areas. And you're going to see what this looks like here in a second. It's going to look more natural, like it's in the background. So you still get that branded effect. A nice little layer on top of it. You can put this in the center. You have your branding in the background. All right, that's enough. You guys know what I'm talking about now. All right, have a good one.